Alright guys, how is it going? Yesterday, not really too much going on in the Call of Duty scene, it has to be said, and it sort of put me off putting out a video 3 days in a row, which would have been something miraculous on Call of Duty content. Of course, JCap retiring was the main theme of yesterday, and of course the fallout from what happened with Clayster. Not too much to report on there. I'll go in straight away though with the JCap retirement announcement. A player I've always sort of seen in the scene is being up at the top level as a very good professional, and to see him now moving away from playing, for me, I think, you know, he's probably realised that at this moment in time it sort of went down for him. You know, he's been a fantastic champion in the past, but now is probably the right time to move on to something else. I think he'd be very good on the broadcast, to be honest with you as well. There's plenty of avenues for him to go down. Of course, the Oak Boys have got something going on all the time, so I'm interested to see what he does, but good luck to him, and hopefully he does find himself a good spot in the scene. But today, as you will notice from the title of the video, we are not talking solely about JCap's removing himself from the scene. We are talking about this that has come up. It is Cold War multiplayer gameplay. Now, we're not going to show any of it because I ain't trying to get copyrighted. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, we don't need that whatsoever. We're going to talk about the gameplay that we've seen. We're going to talk through some of the opinions of people on Reddit, and of course some of the ones that we've seen on Twitter, although not a lot of people up at this moment in time as they have went out, but we will talk about the actual gameplay. Don't know what screen to leave you on other than this one. I mean, it's on Reddit. You can go and have a look for yourself. Obviously, I can't post actual content myself, as I will get striked on the EGL YouTube, which I can't imagine that my manager would be too happy about. But let's delve into what I've seen from it and what to take away from a competitive aspect. Now, I will preface this with the fact that it was literally a 4-minute clip of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, so you can't really base how the whole year is going to go on 4 minutes of gameplay. Until you really get your hands on it, there's not a lot you can delve into. I'm going to, you know, throw some things that I picked up on based on the gameplay so far, and I want to get your opinions as well in the comments if you wouldn't mind. But let's delve into it, and I'm just going to go through from what we've seen from the start. So let's break it down competitive-wise. Looks like there's 5 attachments per weapon, so that's going to follow the similar side of things to obviously the gunsmith that we had in Modern Warfare. And that looks like it's stable. It looks like the pick 10 is going to be for your perks and other weapons rather than actually going in with the 5 attachments. Not 100% sure on that one, but definitely 5 attachments per weapon, which I'm not crazy on. I'm honestly not too crazy on. I think, you know, we could have brought that down a little bit, having so many attachments. It means that you don't have to have specific weapons for specific scenarios. You can have a weapon that just basically does everything you could possibly want it to with 5 attachments. So I've never been that keen on that personally. Let me know what you think on that one, but either way. AK-74U's in there, M16 is in there as well. We've seen the MP5 through some of the gameplay also. I think the Commando as well in there, that some of the guys on Reddit spotted. I didn't quite spot that one, but the XM4, obviously just the M4 is the original weapon that seems to be unlocked in terms of ARs, so we've seen that looking pretty good in the hands of Priestep. It looks like there's potential for 2 tacticals and 2 lethals. Not keen on that. Obviously, we don't want too many of these things around, but I can imagine that sort of thing will not be in competitive side of things. Field upgrades are in there, as it was based on the rumors. Wildcards potentially too, obviously in there. You know, it's a Black Ops game. These are things that have been in for a couple of years now. As far as the map design goes, I actually really liked it. I know some people were complaining about it being too dark, but I think that was just a clip on Twitter. When I watched it on Reddit, it was much more bright. And it's a nighttime map at the end of the day, but I don't think it looks too dark in places. It's very well lit up. In terms of how the map was designed, it's hard to say in the mode that they were playing, which I will not read into either. There was the downing mechanic that was in there. It was the same with Cyber Attack this year, that had a down mechanic where you could revive your teammates. However, in this case, I'm not going to read into that too much. I'd be surprised if it was in the normal game. Just totally, like, as in every single kill has to be a down, then cleaned up, like Gears of War, if you like. But I'm not going to read too much into that. I think that's probably just game mode specific. However, if that is in there solely, we'll delve into that at a future date. But as I said, I think it could be like Cyber Attack rather than anything else. I'm not reading into the game mode, and thusly I couldn't really read into the map based on the game mode, and obviously it's only a small amount of time. But looked pretty similar to a 3-lane mechanic that we see Treyarch going with, or mechanic design, but lots of different buildings to be going into as well. We did see somebody actually try to run into a door and it didn't open, thank the fucking heavens. But anyway, let's move on. TTK, the time to kill, looks a lot higher than Modern Warfare, although it would not take much. You could literally breathe on people when they die in Modern Warfare, but it is a bonus. I think that's one of the big takeaways from me. We'll talk about my opinions at the end. Gameplay, it looks a little bit slower and a little bit clunky at times. I think, you know, when we first watched Modern Warfare and the gunfight, we thought it looked really clunky, but this game is not clunky at all. So I'm not going to take away too much of that one. It does look slower though. The animations look like they maybe take a little bit more time. I don't know if it's perks or anything that are going to help things out with that, but I'm not too sure. Let's move on to some opinions, because you guys on Reddit have been having a look. Obviously, they noticed the Commando first and foremost, which is nice to see that one coming in. And overall, I think the positives out of Reddit are very, very high. And this is obviously the core competitive Reddit. Will not go over towards the Modern Warfare subreddit because they hate everything that we love about any of the games, and they love things that we hate. So I'm not going to go at that. With Gamer saying, game looks amazing, so hype. Certainly the first death shows that the slide cancel is going to be. Notice how the guy couldn't shoot the enemy even though he was in the line of sight until the slide was fully completed. It does look like there is a delay to a slide cancel, so it's not going to be, it looks like it's not going to be like cracked out slide canceling everywhere. It looks like it is really going to be about, you know, your positioning, making sure you've got your gun up when you need to. Just looking through some of the other comments though, using the MP5 because of how good it was in Modern Warfare doesn't make sense. What is the alpha gameplay? Just run through it. Teep and Priest are getting some gameplay, and that was something I didn't touch on there actually that I should have, of the players that were in there. So there was pros and high-end streamers, although actually I think Priest was probably the only technical pro in there. Shane, obviously a coach and a long-time player in the UK scene, getting himself a go, and we do know that lots of different players have been talking about being under NDA of a game they're playing at this moment in time. We know that it's most likely going to be them. Teep was in there as well and playing quite well, but lots of different streamers in there that you would expect to see, but most of them very, very good players, so that is a positive. But just having a look there, yeah, so Priest being in there is a big one. Shane, of course, in there. It was surprising, but it was nice to see how well he was doing with the MP5. Good play from him, but either way, gameplay looks good. I'm calling this will be one of the worst maps. I mean, you can't really make that decision quite yet. Lots of people saving the videos anyway, but just looking at everybody's comments, there's very little negativity coming out of this one. I posted on Twitter myself about it just to maybe just try and get a better idea what the community was saying, because I've seen a lot of people stressing out about it. Like, oh, it doesn't even, I mean, it was Defrag who was stressing that. I see on my time, and a couple of other the UK guys. I don't buy getting stressed out or disappointed with gameplay this early on. At the same time, as I suppose you can't get hyped. It's a double-edged sword based on 4 minutes of gameplay. But my opinion was I see people not dying in bullets, so I'm happy either way. Roper comes in there, obviously the coach of war. Look. The coach of all coming in and said, not uncommon, so I get a better, and I get a feel for myself. Hard to base an opinion off a game off a 1 minute clip. We should know better than that by now. He's absolutely correct. Defrag's argument was that, does that look like COD to you? Looks like a Modern Warfare Rainbow Six hybrid. I think when he says Rainbow Six, he maybe thinks, you know, the animations looks a little bit clunky at times. I say it looks smooth. After looking again, maybe it's not necessarily smooth, but a point I do want to bring out, and this is based on who was actually in the game. Shane comes in there after what Defrag said. A couple minute clip on one map and one game mode isn't much to base it off, fella. Now, he looked like he was in the game, so I mean, I'm not going to read, maybe I'm reading too much into it and sort of saying, well, Shane is saying don't base it off what you've seen already. I don't know. I don't think Shane's somebody who will blow smoke up my arse at this point, so I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, but I think this is relatively, if you want to read into it, maybe a positive comment. Again, Defrag continues on, talking about the game players. Just look at how the character moves and doesn't look like COD at all. Honestly, I think in terms of design and how they move, etc., it's just reining it in a little bit. Maybe slowing it down gives me Rogue Company vibes. Shout out Rogue Company. Cade letting us know about that one. Of course, we have been playing plenty of it. And if it is giving me Rogue Company vibes, it's giving Cade Rogue Company vibes. We're in for a good year because Rogue Company's class and you all need to get on board on it. But yeah, I mean, look, let me know what you think of the game. I honestly, my opinion, are based on what we've seen. And as I said, you have to take this with a pinch of salt because of the fact that it is literally only 4 minutes. It looks fairly decent. I think the biggest things for me was that it was smooth but clunky in a sense. Like, the animation seemed to take quite a long time. The slide cancelling didn't look to be as quick, and it looked as if you couldn't really do it to a certain degree, although I'd imagine somebody will find out how. The time to kill is a little bit higher, which I'm all for. Mono Warfare is far too quick, and I think that's a big win that we are seeing the TTK up a little bit higher. I even have the Black Ops 4 time to kill. Give it to me as high as possible. We love to see that. But either way, the actual reveal is just in a few days. I do believe it's in 5 days on the 9th of September. We can see that there's loads of talent already heading away. I think I see Nameless on his way. We've seen that Merc and Maven are going to be seeing each other very, very shortly. So I presume they're all going to be there for the reveal. That's good to see that they're continuously getting the franchises involved. But let me know what you think of the gameplay that you've seen. If you have managed to see it, it's all across Twitter, it's all across Reddit. It will stay there as well. They will strike it down on YouTube, but realistically, it's going to be hard to keep on top of it. And honestly, it seems like it's going to probably be revealed very, very shortly. And if it isn't, it will be revealed on the 9th. Obviously, I couldn't put any gameplay in here. As mentioned, I didn't want to get copyrighted. But let me know what you think in the comments of what you've seen so far. I'm pretty positive about it. Do you like the way that the maps look? Do you like the way that the guns seem to feel? Very interested to see what you guys think. Please leave it a like as well. Subscribe if you have not. And we will see you guys for the next video.